Hi guys, welcome back to CMD and another video. You join me back at Car Mad Dad HQ. The M2 is looking and feeling a little bit neglected. I recently shot a video of a 20,000 mile review in this car, and that was filmed roughly around a month ago. And since then, over Christmas, New Year and into 2022, this car's ticked over just over another 2,500 miles. And so it's time for a spruce up. Like many of you, over lockdown, I enjoyed sort of spending time cleaning the car on the weekend as something to do and keep me occupied. But especially as the world has opened back up and I'm particularly a lot more busy now, both with work and family commitments, things like cars and getting them cleaned have gone right to the bottom of the priority list, and finding time to get them done and properly has quite literally become impossible. So more recently we've started using a mobile valeter. Two benefits as I see it. First and foremost, saves me multiple hours over the weekend trying to get this car and the family wagon up to a relatively just general tidy condition, especially M2. She looks great dirty, she really does, and I like my cars used and abused, but she looks 10 times better clean. And that's the second point, is cards on the table. As much as I enjoy it, it's my pride and joy. My time is limited and I genuinely couldn't get to the level of finish that people like Dan achieve, even if I tried my hardest. So the idea of today is to introduce Dan, talk through what process he's going to go through and get a look at the end result. So let's go and meet him. Dan is from Supernova Valeting. He's based around the Wyre Forest, Bewdley area.
Worcestershire.
I think it's fair to say this is the worst condition I've ever given you the car.
Yeah.
So there's that guilt, that inner guilt that someone's got to sort of look after your mess. But I think just for people watching this channel, Dan, and for people who are minded to give this a go themselves, so I genuinely wouldn't know where to start. That is genuinely how bad the car is at the moment. What is your process to get started on this? Because it's not the norm, is it?
So I tend to start with the inside first. I'll give it a good vacuum, mats out, and then I'll go around with a detailing brush and the hoover just to get rid of any sort of dust. The steering wheel, seats, and carpet areas. Basically a once over of all the trim with an interior detailer, and then I go around a glass cleaner.
So that's just the inside. And the inside is, I mean, the condition of the interior, I'll get some shots in there now, but is as bad as the exterior.
And then I'll obviously get the mats looking good again. So I'll move on to the outside. Currently at the moment we've got a lot of salt, dirt that just gets sprayed up onto the sides, especially rear. So what I start off first with is with the wheels. So I'll give them initial rinse off. I then use a dedicated wheel cleaner that's non-acid. Then snow foam and clean barrels. I'll use a detailing brush again to get in sort of any nook and crannies, especially the wheels on this M2. They are a lot of fun to clean just because of how technical they are. Yeah,
you've been really polite there. By a lot of fun you mean an absolute.
And then I go around with a microfiber, with it being a multi-spoke design, and also giving the brakes a good clean as well.
So you'll do the wheels before you do anything else on the car?
Yeah, so I'll individually go around and clean all four wheels on their own, just because they basically get the toughest life out of the whole car, really. With a car like this, it's so dirty, I'll do an initial rinse. So I'll go around with a jet wash and get off as much big dirt as I can. I then will use a snow foam that I use in combination with a pre-wash. I'll go around areas like the badge, the petrol cap, and any sort of small grill areas with the detailing brush. And I'll let that sort of sit for a couple of minutes.
Few minutes, because that's always up for contentious issue, isn't it? It's sort of how long do you leave it on for?
Yeah, so in direct sunlight in the summer, I probably wouldn't. And obviously the car wouldn't be so dirty, but on overcast days like today, you know, the chemicals aren't going to dry up. And then once it's sat there for a bit, I'll then jet it off, and then I will go around with the 2-bucket method. Just be very thorough with making sure there's no sort of particles either on the wash mitt or sort of the areas that I'm touching, and then jet off any sort of bubbles that are left. This time of year I tend to opt for a polymer sealant. I use a product by Joule, it's called Flex, and I found that to be one of the best. Again, leave that for a couple of minutes. I'll then rinse all that off. That layer of hydrophobic then allows me to dry it a lot easier, and it's protected, so next time it rains you can see all that water beading up and it'll stay cleaner for longer. And then dry her off and she'll look like new. So I think you've just described 2 days work to me. So let's leave Dan to it, but in the meantime go and make him a coffee because it's freezing out here, and then we'll get into a bit of B-roll of what he's been up to. So let's go. Cheers, Dan. Cheers.
Right guys, time to close the video down. No doubt you've seen everything that Dan's been up to. M2 is all tidied up, she's looking absolutely incredible, just like new. Hopefully while you've been watching this you've learned a little bit something about valeting techniques, methods, or just what it takes to be a mobile valeter, because when Dan talks through everything that he does, don't get it twisted, there's no way on God's earth you'd catching me do all of that to get my car clean. And if you guys out there are doing that, fair play to you, and God, I wish I had the time, but whilst I most certainly do not, ever the more reason to use a professional in someone like Dan. Big shout out and thank you to Dan. You know, shoving a camera in front of anyone is a scary experience, and he's been more than accommodating and let me film what he gets up to. And thank you to you guys for tuning in. For those of you new to the channel, Car Mad Dad is a YouTube channel with a difference. We have been set up on the basis of all of the revenue we generate from sponsored videos and ad revenue from videos like this one that you've just watched all goes into the pot, which 100% all goes to good causes. More recently, we just wrote a cheque out for £1,500 to Birmingham Children's Hospital, and that's off the back of people like you watching videos like this. So if you like what you saw, please like, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Cheers.